Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. And this week we are all about WGI, with a special preview of what you can expect on the percussion end of things this coming winter. We're also going to find out what made Sean say,
I can't see the light of day ever. That was so bad.
And why Colette said,
You just give as much as you can to this, so that whenever you put it out there, it's something that you are proud of, and it resembles yourself and the other people around you.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in.
It's time for a water break.
Hello, everyone. It's Steven here, and we are back with another episode of On a Water Break. This week, we are talking all about WGI. Can you believe that it's already winter season? I certainly can when I step outside. But this week, we are going to check in with some awesome performers on the start of their WGI seasons. Before we see who's on the sidelines this week, make sure you go and subscribe, hit the notifications on your favorite listening app, write us a review, and share this with a friend. And if you got a question or a good topic that you want to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you could find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We've even got a form now that you could fill out if you want to be a guest. We love hearing people on the podcast, so check it out at our link in the bio on our social media. All right, let's see who's on the sidelines this week. We've got Sean McWilliams. Welcome back, Sean. Heard you were at PASIC a couple weeks back. We'll talk about that in a second here, but how's the transition into a winter band going after your fall season?
I was talking so much earlier. We're gonna cut this out.
Probably talking all over my intro too.
Dude, I literally was. I was like responding. So yeah, coming out of marching band, we got right back into concert band mode, kind of full time. There was a good break between the end of the marching band season, which for us in our southeastern PA band happened like late October, which is kind of early, even for our area, pretty early. Yeah. You might know, you definitely know. But yeah, so it's been like, concert to concert in the first half of the year. And then we have this huge long kind of like gap of time where there's nothing, no performance opportunity for us to work till like May 1st. So
wow.
I'm trying to reinvent the wheel a little bit and really keep it fresh right now. And like, we're going to try like something called a silent rehearsal next week, which is like, it's like a rehearsal where like we just kind of try. I mean, it's something I've never had. I don't think we ever had it at Upper Darby, but like, I just don't remember it if we did have it, but
nah, I don't think we had it.
Yeah. I don't know if that was something we tried then. But it's it's something that I'm just going to, I talked to the kids about it today and the students were like, yeah, let's just try it. Like what we're doing is getting boring. We're only in January. So we're nearly done January, but like, we got another 4 months to go. So 5 months, full school. So we're, between jazz band starting up like literally today and concert band kind of just going, couple months at a time in the first half, and then we have a big long stretch here. It's been good, man. And that's how it's going.
Yeah, well, that's cool, dude. I think you can look at it like an opportunity when you got that big stretch of time. It's a great space for you to figure out some like cool, fun new things to do with your group. So we'll talk more about that later for sure, but let's meet everyone else who's on the call with us tonight. We've also got Colette Lyman from Music City. How's the start of your season going?
Hi, it's been pretty good. It's a really strong group of people, and I've had a great start of my season. Travel's been rough since it's about a 10-hour drive for me, but I'm so glad to be back. Yes, but I am so glad to be back. It is my home completely.
Wow. I'm going to want to hear more about all that in a little bit for sure. The farthest I've ever driven for band was about like 7.5 hours for X, but 10 is a different beast because 7.5, that's like, that was the most that I could have possibly done. Wow. We'll get to hear more about your Music City experience in a little bit, but let's just check out who else we got on the call real quick. We got Jacob Witten from Broken City, moving out to the West Coast. So what's that been like for you, Jacob?
It's been great. I decided to move out here for Broken City. I'm originally from Colorado, so coming out to California was a huge change for me. And I'm having a great time living with some of the other out-of-staters here.
I always thought it was cool when I was at X, like when you do get that pod of people from out of state and they kind of just, now it's like drum corps almost, because instead of doing weekend band only, you're like locked in to weekend band all week since you moved for it. It's like a totally different beast. So that's awesome. Can't wait to hear more about what you guys have been up to. Back over on the Colorado side of things, though, we've got Antonio Lozano from Blue Knights. So same question. How's the beginning of your season been going, Antonio?
I'd say it's been a great season, great group of people, and I think it's definitely a better start than the last couple of years.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited to hear more about like what makes you feel that way as we get a little bit more into each of these ensembles later on in the call. But thanks for popping on the call with us here. And last but certainly not least, we have Vic Ensler from Infinity 2 Percussion down in Florida. So we're really covering all of our geographical bases and time zones right now. Spare for maybe we should have had someone from Central Time. Is Colorado Central Time or Mountain Time?
We're Mountain Time.
Mountain Time, yeah. So I think we're missing one time zone. We were so close. But Vic, how is Infinity 2 and all the other folks over at Infinity going?
Infinity 2 has been amazing. It's so fun. It's my first time in a world ensemble, but yeah, I know all of them are just excited to get rolling.
Yeah, I love the Infinity 2 show design, actually. Like, I think was last year the pirate show, or am I thinking back too many?
No, they did the pirate show last year. It was so sick.
Yeah, the pirate show was actually like super sick. I think that like, man, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to want to talk more about Infinity later, but I really like the way that they like work their designers up the chain as well, so that people are getting, by the time you're designing for even Infinity 2, let alone Infinity, like just really skilled in putting together a good program.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Why don't we take a chance now? We're going to get into these 32 count life stories so that we can get to know everyone a little bit better. The 32 count life story is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to get about 30 seconds to catch us up on everything. Cram it into 30 seconds in your background here that brings you up to where you are today. So it's really actually not that deep, but Colette, do you want to get us started?
I'd love to.
All right, you're going to get 8 and in off the Met.
All right, my name is Colette Lyman. I was born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, born and raised, and I've always been in music. Music has been a part of my life since birth. I started piano at 6 and moved into percussion at 9. I started playing marimba at Federal High School up until I was 16, whenever I auditioned at Mystique. It was the biggest shock of my life, and I've now been proud to call that my home. It's my second year there, and I'm excited to see what the pageantry world has in store for me the next couple of years. And that's about all.
Wow, so you went straight from pedal to MCM?
Yes, I did.
That's very impressive.
Thank you so much.
That's no small task at all.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So wait, how many seasons do you have left then?
My age out, I just turned 18 last week, and my age out is 2029 for WGI and 2028 for DCI. So I have about 5 seasons left. I have a lot of opportunities left for me. Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well, you're probably gonna be running things at MCM someday. All right, Jacob. Looks like Colette led a good example here. You ready to give us your 32 count life story?
Let's do it.
8 and in.
So I'm Jacob. I'm from Colorado. I originally started World with Rise Percussion. I started there towards the end of the 22 season and returned for 23 and 24, all on bass 2. And then I decided to come up to California for my age out. So I'm super excited to be with Broken City, and I'm having a great time.
Nice. Yeah. A buddy of mine from Unite, he's a cymbal player, and he used to teach Rise. I'm not sure if he would have been there in 2022. Any chance you know a guy named Alex Hartley?
I do not. No, sorry.
Okay. He probably stopped teaching maybe back in like 2020, 2019-ish instead then, I guess. But dude, I didn't realize you're a bass drummer. That's awesome. What drum are you playing at Broken City?
I'm on bottom bass.
Bottom bass at Broken
Yep.
City. Nice. Well, that's cool. I'm going to nerd out about bass drum with you later on in the call, but we'll save our listeners that for now. Antonio, you ready to give us your 32 counts?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. Let's get in there.
Hi, my name is Antonio Lozano. I was born in California and quickly moved to Colorado because my dad's in the military. I got 3 siblings. I started band in 7th grade on clarinet and then switched to percussion in 9th grade. And after I graduated, I marched with Jersey Surf. This last season, I marched with Spirit of Atlanta. And this is my 3rd season in the Blue Knights Percussion Ensemble. I teach at a few of the high schools in the local area. And then, even though I have all this music experience, I'm going to school for communications and for film.
Nice. Yeah, no, I was much the same, man. Love music, and honestly, I wish I was doing something with music professionally, especially lately. Haven't been loving it. But sometimes you just gotta, keep the two separate. Keeps a little bit more peace in your life when you're not trying to make all the money off of your passion. But, well, I mean, honestly, you could be making money off the passion in communication and film as well. Probably are. But that's awesome, dude. And pardon me if I forgot, but what instrument do you play?
Oh, all front ensemble. Only keyboards. I've never marched in my life, except for parades.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, Sean's your man.
Wait, Antonio, sorry, really random question. Do you happen to know Mike Nevin by any chance?
I know him. We've talked before, and I've had different. Yeah, I've met with him a few times, but I don't know him.
Gotcha. Me and Steven kind of had him at Upper Darby High School in PA in 2014, 2013. And Steven in 2012 probably too.
Back in marching band, yeah.
When we had him for marching band over there. He was awesome, dude. He was really good for us as high school. I don't think he was teaching that much at BK PE anymore.
No, I've never been taught by him, but he's given judge tapes, or not judge tapes, but just some feedback stuff for high schools and everything.
Yeah, he loves BKPE too. He was really big with them in the early 2000s. He was with them when they were winning stuff and everything. And anyway, sorry, the connection came to my mind. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no problem at all. And then Vic, why don't we get you started with your 32 count life story now as well? You ready to get going?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Hey, my name is Vic. I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. I was originally a dancer for about 14 years, but then I quit because I fell in love with music. I started playing percussion in 6th grade, but now I'm actually a graphic design major in Orlando, Florida. Last year, I was center marimba for Infinity 3, which was amazing, and now I'm playing vibraphone for I2, and I'm just having a ball. I'm so excited for this season to start.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what all of your groups get up to, actually. All 4 of you, and United, for Sean and myself. Excited to see how all these seasons pan out. But before we talk more about WGI, let's hop into the news. All right. Vic, do you want to get us started? Looks like you've got the first one lined up here.
Yes, I'd love to talk about the PASIC 2024 recap. PASIC 2024 was in Indianapolis. It featured standout performances, educational sessions, and one of the largest exhibit halls in the event's history. It showcased the latest innovations in percussion instruments, compositions, and products. Wow. The RCC Drumline from Riverside, California, they made its PASIC debut, offering main stage performance, movement for drumline masterclass, a culture building session, and a program design clinic. This event also recognized PAS legacy members, which is those who have attended 40 or more conventions. Before the Friday evening concert, outgoing PAS President Julie DeVilla announced the completion of a strategic plan developed with Taylor Advising to guide the organization's future. For more information, visit www.pas.org.
Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never actually gotten to be to PASIC, but I know that my friend Sean here got to go this year. Sean, what did you think of PASIC this year?
Oh my gosh, I love PASIC. And Vic described it perfectly. That's a great. I mean, you got a lot of it there. There's a huge exhibit hall. I mean, it's just. I mean, okay, TLDR. It's just like percussion heaven, kind of like, you know.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's got everything for everybody. Like, there's something for everybody that's there. It's such a great community that, you know, you go there and it's just like everyone is like reunions, you know, left and right. It's such a good. I mean, you know, it's
That
good to
makes
be
sense.
connected. It's with
Yeah,
that, you know, that community.
Such a small world too, like, and most everyone ends up like knowing someone else from here and there. Like, if I was at PASIC, it would probably just be like, yo.
Oh my gosh.
Yo.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's like Tom Monks walking down the street, and then there's like, you know, Jim Ancona might be there, you know, or like Ian Moyer might be there, or Mike McIntosh walks down the street, or Omar Carmenadas is there. It's just like awesome. So it's such a good place. Jeff Prosperi will do a clinic, and, you know, this year I got to actually take part in one of the clinics that was going on. It was by a really good friend of mine, a classmate and good friend of mine from Eastman named Austin Keck, who did composition / new music clinic and showed off a bunch of music that he's been writing for a percussion ensemble. So as a classmate, we got to play a lot of that stuff, and he's just a master, and a young master. Like, it's nuts. He's such a young guy who's so talented and such a hard worker, you know? So yeah, it was a great time this year. Last year I got to go literally as a spectator for my first time. The year before I performed with Eastman. The year before that I played with the International Marimba Orchestra. And then 2 years before, like a year before COVID, 2019, I got to play with Jim Campbell, who was the long time. I think he actually taught. I think he taught cavies. He taught at a lot of places, but he taught cavies, and he's had a lot of guys at the University of Kentucky who he has taught. Like, I think actually Mike Nevin, funny enough, by the way, but had him as a. I think at University of Montana, like way earlier. Anyway, I digress.
It all comes back to Mike Nevin,
dude. Oh my gosh! Well, at least, you know, for me. For me, it does. You know, that was my first teacher. But anyway, yeah. So it was a great time. Actually, I think Mike was there. I'm so mad I didn't get to see him.
He's always been there.
He's always there. He's in the walls. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, I'll be there someday. I honestly hope that someday I could do some bass drum thing there. But even if I'm just going just to check it out, I've got to make it there someday. It's percussion mecca. Gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a bass drum like I&E if you want. I think
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like I feel like I can make this happen. I gotta write a whole I&E, produce it out, really make a thing, but they'll let me bust it down.
Get the gang back together for it.
Yeah, me and Dadisi are gonna go crazy at PASIC one day. But all right, Antonio, looks like you've got a story here about my alma mater.
Yeah, Penn State. All right. The annual Percussion at Penn State Marimba Festival and Competition, hosted by Dr. Lee Hinkle and the Percussion at Penn State Studio, took place on January 18th through 19th of 2025, showcasing masterclasses, artist recitals, and a competitive platform for rising talent. Sponsored by industry leaders such as Adams Pearl, Innovative Percussion, Yamaha, and Sonaris Percussion, the event attracted percussionists and educators from across the country. A key highlight was the marimba competition, where Sonaris Percussion generously awarded 2 mallet instruments as grand prizes to the top competitors. Esteemed judges included Nancy Zeltzman, Rosie Sircone, and several other industry professionals who brought their expertise to the event. The festival concluded with an artist recital featuring remarkable performances by Dr. Lee Hinkle, Kristen Kluwer, and Rosie Sircone, leaving the audience inspired. For event updates and more, follow at Penn State Percussion on Instagram or visit Percussion at Penn State.
Yeah, you know, I wish that Penn State was getting into all this percussion stuff when I was a student. That would be pretty cool. No marimba clinic when I was there, but that's awesome. I love to see something so close to home, really, and trying to set up these sort of opportunities for folks to learn and even to get gifted some nice new instruments. I always think that's cool too when companies are willing to spread out something that's really honestly pretty expensive. Sean, are you familiar with like these sorts of collegiate festivals? Have you been to one like that?
I went to. I mean, yeah, they happen. Sometimes they just kind of pop up. I think Penn State's been. I think they did something last year too, or maybe 2 years ago. They did something pseudo recently, but maybe at a different time of the year. And it's so good for the local community. Like when that sort of thing can happen. Like I know a bunch of Westchester people who are, though it's like a kind of an adjacent PA school, PA university,
big PA school.
Yeah, and some people. I don't know if people from Temple ended up going. I know, but it got a lot of people to come up, and I think a lot of the competitions attract that too. It's so good. Mm-hmm. That stuff can sometimes pop up. Like PAS actually kind of used to and still does have these days of percussion, which are like a 1 day a year like festival featuring like. It'll be like the Philadelphia Orchestra. I'm just telling you about our area specifically. I think there's a lot of stuff that happens like this in Chicago. Like there's stuff in Austin, Texas. These kind of big like hot spots. New York, Boston, Tennessee, like Nashville. I think there's a marimba festival or a marimba like academy institute sort of thing forming in Nashville with Vanderbilt this year, and not too privy to the stuff out in the West Coast. Maybe Jacob knows more. But yeah, that's I think it's so good. It's such a good thing. It's fun to go to too. I mean, you don't even have to perform or compete if you want to just go and learn. It's great.
Yeah, dude. Someday I'm gonna start the Penn State Bass Drum Festival.
Let's go. I'll register. You got me, man.
All right, Colette. Looks like we've got a story that you're sharing from one of our friends of the show, Drum Corps Today. What do you got?
All right. Drum corps is expensive, and with world-class cores averaging 5,470 and open class averaging 3,352, this tuition has become a massive barrier to entry for so many talented people who love the activity. If you're in a position to donate, please take a minute to check out their fundraisers, and if you aren't, engaging with this post and sharing it are still great ways to help them achieve their goal. If you're marching this summer and are looking to get your fundraiser added to the list, check out the post pinned in the fundraising highlight of our profile and fill out the form.
Nice. That's actually an awesome resource, but I want to call attention back to some stat there that I thought was crazy. The average world-class core tuition is $5,470 now?
Yes, and I've even seen some get up to $6,000 just for a summer. Yeah.
That's insane. That's a lot of money. Well, definitely sounds like things like what Drum Corps Today is putting together are more important than they've ever been. So if you're someone who's marching soon and you need help raising funds, go check out Drum Corps Today page and check out the post pinned in the fundraising highlight on their profile. I'm sure that it'll be a good use of your time to try to get some help towards next summer's tuition. And Sean, Flow Marching is setting a new streaming schedule. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so check this out. It's on flowmarching.com. If you go to actually it's posted in December, it looks like. So this has been out for maybe about a month and a half, maybe a month. But all the dates are up for percussion, and I think color guard as well for WGI. So right now I'm looking at the percussion side of things. I got February 15th, Chicago Percussion Regional. Trumbull is that same day in Connecticut. Orlando, Florida. Temecula, California is the next one on this 22nd. Looking ahead, it's got things for everything. March 8th, almost every weekend there's something going on. Dartmouth, Massachusetts, Jackson, Missouri, Waconia, Minnesota, Powhatan, maybe I'm not saying that right. Powhatan, Virginia, Harriman. I got it. Harriman, Utah, yeah, lots of stuff. It looks like WGI Finals is, and I requested off for work, so I know this kind of freshly. April 10th through 12th is the Percussion World Championships. That's going to feature, I know it's like literally thousands of people and thousands of students, and it's not too much to say thousands. I think I don't have this number in front of me. I'm kind of just remembering, but it's a lot of students.
Kind of just got me thinking, man. I was like, dang, these shows are creeping up on us, aren't they? Trumble's coming. We got 2 weeks, baby. It's just 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks till our first show. I think it's like literally 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, 2.5 weeks, man, till the first kind of round. Oh boy! All right. Time. Yeah, it's crunch time. We gotta get rehearsing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, man. Well, we've got to get back out there because it's crunch time until we got to get these shows going in a couple weeks. So we're going to get some practice in real fast, and we'll be back with a little bit more about this upcoming WGI season in a couple minutes.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast, On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
All right, everyone. So we are back now, and it's time to dive a little bit deeper into the WGI Percussion season that we have coming up. Now, we've been saying all call along that percussion season is coming up, but in reality, we've been in the thick of things here for some time, and you guys are putting in the serious work now. So I'm excited to hear about like what your perspectives are on the season and more about like sort of what you're looking forward to as we get down the line here. But let's get a quick question. You probably can't tell us a lot about the shows. I know that not all these shows are announced yet. You're still coming right around the corner, but I'm interested to hear kind of your perspectives on how things are going and how excited you are about, you know, what you guys are up to out there. Jacob, you're a bass drummer. How are you liking the splits at Broken City?
I'm loving them. I love Mike Jackson's writing.
So do I. Mm-hmm. He's been my favorite writer.
Right. I remember watching all those Blue Knights videos and Broken City videos, especially from the last few years. And I love what he does. And the show design is just my favorite thing. I can keep gushing later, but we're having a great time. Bottom bass, you don't have any usual crazy splits on bottom bass, but I'm holding it down as best as I can with that giant drum.
Yeah. I feel like Mike has some of the most creative bass writing that really is out there, man.
Yeah.
It blew my mind too, because I thought that he was a bass drummer. And then I learned that there's a different Mike Jackson who's about the same age that was a HB bass drummer in the 90s. Different guy, not the Mike Jackson that writes for Broken City. And honestly, that kind of tore my worldview apart a little bit because I was like, Mike's the guy. He's the one bass drummer that's actually out here like writing for a group. And I was still wrong. Bass drummers are not out here writing for groups, unfortunately. But hey, he's got a brain a lot like a bass drummer for sure.
Oh, yeah.
How are you liking the season thus far? Or actually, how are you liking California, man?
I think California is great. The weather out here is fantastic. Besides, I know there's been a lot of wildfires recently.
Oh, yeah. I guess that actually is tricky. Has that impacted your actual like rehearsal dynamics and things like that this year?
Thankfully, we are pretty distant from the LA fires, although I know there are a lot of people who lost their homes and of course can't do their regular rehearsal things, which is very sad. Fortunately, we're being so far. We had the pleasure of staying outside, although it was very windy. That was a big thing here.
I've been hearing that was a big part of why the wildfires were really causing so much damage. Tragic what's been going on out there, but it is nice to hear that Broken City is, able to keep on humming along and you guys are still churning and doing what you guys do.
Right.
So that's cool. We'll get back to Broken City in a little bit here. But Vic, why don't you tell us a little bit about Infinity 2? Is there anything different that you would say from when you were marching Infinity 3 to how you're marching Infinity 2 now? That you're like, wow, this is a big change.
Oh, it's definitely different. Going from like the open class to the world class is like a huge step. Expectations are higher, the music is harder, but
Mm-hmm.
like the staff is amazing. They've really just been making it a smooth transition for me, and I'm very grateful to be marching I2.
Nice. So, like, one thing I always think about with Infinity, particularly I2 last year, is that, like, it's a very theatrical production through and through. So, like, are they training you guys on bringing that sort of a theatric vibe? Or is that just, like, something you pick up on from being around? What's your experience there?
They're definitely very big on performance, but music always comes first. I think a lot of the times performers can just like find themselves in what they're playing, and that kind of just ties it all together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you need to internalize that. I felt like that was my experience at X too. Like when I finally aged out and I was at like my peak, if we'll call it that, was that like being really good was being able to really internalize my show. And that's what allows you to really bring it back out, is when you really, really can push and feel it in deep. I don't know if that was a little too wooey way to explain performance, but I definitely could relate to what you were saying in that regard. Infinity 2 is cool. I'm excited to see what you guys get up to this year, but I won't prod you for specifics about your show at this time. All right. Colette, how was you said this is year 2 of MCM for you, right?
Year 2 and going strong.
Is there anything that you're doing differently as a second year member?
I think definitely coming back as a vet instead of a rookie and just being older, I feel a little bit more responsibility. I try and catch on to things quicker. I try and really be there for the people around me so that they, like, even rookie members this year can have that same smooth season that I had last year and get that same experience. So while it is a little bit more pressure on me to be able to go with the flow and kind of pick up on what people are putting down as quick as possible, I think that's what makes the marching arts be able to progress as fast as it does, is just the vets who have already seen it being able to be there for the people who are new. That's kind of something
Right.
I've been trying to make a change about coming in back at my second year.
Mm-hmm. And to continue to carry that culture in a really big way for you specifically, since you're not aging out until 2029. I mean, who knows if you'll do all of those years at MCM or all of those years in general. Frankly, you've got a lot of years ahead of you.
Very, very.
That you get to kind of create that culture, not just pass along a culture, but at a certain point when you're in the ensemble for that long, like you're the center point and you become a big part of that culture that you're passing on. Is there anything that you feel like to you really stands out as like the core of MCM culture? Like, what do you guys believe in over there?
I think the core of MCM culture, I kind of picked up on it before I was even there, because you see it a little bit in everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the special thing within everyone that's there, that kind of puts their all towards what we do, and kind of gives up a little bit of the outside world to really invest into this special project. And that's what makes me so excited to kind of share our project with the world in the next couple of weeks with our first show, and just kind of put everything out there that we've been putting so much into so far. And that's kind of the Mystique way. You give everything, you just give as much as you can to this, so that whenever you put it out there, it's something that you are proud of, and it resembles yourself and the other people around you. I think that's what makes it beautiful. And you see a little bit of that even from a distance, just watching Mystique. That's just kind of what takes your breath away initially. You just see all these people who have this passion and this drive to do what they all have come together to do, and that's what makes it super special.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because to call a spade, I marched Rhythm X. We've got a very nice friendly rivalry between our two ensembles. And I think that even though at its core we both are putting everything into our show, and that's what it's all about. I think that that's something that's actually really admirable about MCM, is that I can see that everyone at MCM is working really hard, and they know that everyone around them is also working really hard, and you can trust that you're all going to work hard together.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Antonio, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you say this is your first year at Blue Knights?
This is my third year.
Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. Third year. So you're the most long-standing vet that we have on the call then.
Oh.
Is there anyone else in the Blue Knights front ensemble that's a third year or longer vet?
Yeah, there's a few. Our center, Scotty, he's been with the indoor since 22, but he's been marching since he was like 15 years old at all sorts of other groups.
Dang.
And then one of our rack players, this is their fourth year, I believe, too. Started in 22 as well. And I think those are the two longest vets at the moment. And there's a few other 3-year vets that joined the same time as I did.
I got the privilege of being a 3-year vet at United, and I definitely felt like by the time you're back there for the third time, you're so deeply embedded in the ensemble, and you know like what you're trying to be. Do you feel like now that you're doing this for your third year, like you see anything in how you carry yourself or like how you're approaching helping peers around you that's like kind of different than how you felt or were able to even think when you were a rookie or a second year member?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, coming back even as a vet, but then more so this year, of course. Yeah, I hold myself to a way higher standard than I used to, especially I'm like an inside marimba spot this year. So it's like everyone's looking towards me and I have this experience. I'm one of the older members too. And I have other outside experience. So it's like what I do needs to reflect myself and just other ensembles I've been in as well. Just like, yeah, this is how I've learned things. This is how things have worked in the past before. And it's like just these younger people, I'm hoping they trust me with this kind of stuff. And yeah, I definitely know what I'm working towards. Like for the season and everything, I want people to be on the same goal. And we've like established this as an ensemble at different points in the season so far. Like the staff gave me a small leadership role this year of like, hey, we're going to put you in charge of like rehearsal etiquette of like, you're going to get people back on track. They've said the last few years, I'm like always good at flipping that switch. And I want to make sure everyone is on that same page of, oh, we can have fun and goof off. But then when we're back in it, it's like, all right, we're back in it for real. Let's get to work. And they're going to put out a good product for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. That's like almost the same type of thing that we were talking to Colette about, where it's like as you become a more and more established vet, it really becomes like your space to dictate how this ensemble is going to actually function. Because like all the people around you are going to look up towards you. And then the example that you set is going to kind of guide how most of everyone else around you is going to actually operate. How have you been liking sort of that like leadership opportunity at Blue Knights?
Oh, it's good. I like interviewed for like section leader position, but it was hard for them to decide who exactly was going to be it. And they put me in small leadership roles before. And this one, I more so like specifically asked. They asked what my goals were as a leader, and I wanted effective rehearsals to be in place.
Yeah. Okay. They like that.
It's been going pretty well. At some points, I'm a little hesitant of like, oh, should I tell this person to stop talking or not? Other staff is kind of talking to someone individually. So it's trying to find that line of like being too mean, but still getting things done. I think it's been going pretty well. Rehearsals are definitely ran smoother and like on track more than they were last season. So I'm feeling pretty good about it already.
Nice. Yeah. I always feel like the rehearsal etiquette stuff is like a funny one because people think it wouldn't be fun to like avoid talking to your friends. But really when everyone's locked in, it's like, this is what we're here to do. Like everyone focusing and being in the rep is like, that's what we're all about. So
it's like the goal isn't to like be super good, but also it's fun when you're good. So why not just keep getting better?
Yeah. And there's appropriate times to crack jokes. And, sometimes it is while other people are doing stuff, you just have to be respectful. It sounds like you're doing a good job of like helping everyone toe the line. And I'm excited to like see what that leads to for you guys this winter.
So it'd be great to hear what you guys are most looking forward to in your seasons. I guess, can we just kind of go around and kind of maybe just like throw out one thing? Vic, do you what are you looking forward to like most in this like next like competitions are about to start, like, you know, show season's about to start. It's about to like kind of start to, I mean, someone said to me the other day, we're halfway through our kind of like seasons right now. So, you know, what are you at this point? What are you looking forward to most?
I'm actually really excited to go to WGI Atlanta Regional. I think it's coming up in March, actually, so next. And yeah, it was so much fun. It was a really cool event, and it was like the first time I got to see ensembles from outside of Florida. So I'm so excited to go again.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a great time. Like, what other ensembles do you remember? What other ensembles are there with you guys?
I remember seeing Music City last year, and I thought it was
Okay.
so cool. Redline was an amazing show. Definitely.
In my brain, when you said Redline there, I was thinking of the ensemble Redline, and I was like, they came all the way down from Detroit? Like, that's
I
crazy.
did not know there was an ensemble.
Yeah, there is. There's a Redline up in Detroit, Michigan, I'm pretty sure. But no, yeah, Redline, the show from MCM last year was awesome. I keep on talking to people about that moment when everything was super quiet, and then the quad drummer, I forget his name, but he just started screaming. That was such a crazy moment. I loved that.
Yeah.
How far is that regional for you guys?
Last year I was commuting from Gainesville, Florida, and I think it was about like 8-9 hours. It was very long.
Yeah, I was like, that seems like it would be a long way to go.
Yeah.
Colette, I just remembered you're at MCM. You could remind me, was his name Michael?
Yes, Michael. Yes. That was a
He's
really
been on the
awesome
podcast
moment.
Before, so
yes,
I needed to remember. Yeah, he was on. We did a performer spotlight with him. I think maybe like 2 years ago. Actually, would have been a while ago. But yeah, he's cool. He's a good guy. That was an amazing moment. What are you excited for, Colette?
I think, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm the most excited to share this project we've been working on. And especially for our let sequences, I know that at least here at Mystique for our front ensemble, the lot tunes that we put together to share with everyone, even though we aren't in this big arena surrounded by thousands of people, it's a little bit more of an intimate setting, and we get to look out into the audience and look in at each other and just kind of have this aura that we get to share with everyone else. And I think that's the most special part. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. We have a local show coming up pretty soon in a few weekends, and then we'll be joining Infinity and a couple of other groups at the WGI Atlanta Regional and Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis. Nice. I wonder what regionals we're going to, Sean. I don't even really know. Probably like Trumbull.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think there was like talk about, I don't know what's decided yet. There's talk about like I don't think one of the shows that we used to do or doing it. I don't even know. I have no idea what's up for us this year. We're still, I think there's a lot of things that are kind of, every group is probably still kind of like setting the, setting the schedule,
figuring it out.
Things are adjusting. Yeah, we're in that, like,
it's above our pay grade. We just kind of show up.
We show up and
teach the block,
clean beats. So
yeah, I show up, I clean the beats. Mm-hmm. That's my one job. Jacob, what are you looking forward to?
Sounds like just like the other two. I can't wait to perform. We've got a really cool project we're working on this year. I know we just got our orders in for our uniforms. I can't wait to try them on. Nice. They are so beautiful. I can't wait for everyone to see them at our premiere show in a week and a half.
Oh man, you feeling ready?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, nice. I'm gonna have to check that out. You guys usually put on a live stream for that, right?
I believe so. Yeah. We also have ticket sales online. Those are up. So it's on February 2nd at Vista Marietta.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Everybody listening should check it out too, because Broken City puts on a great show and they drum good. Antonio, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, kind of the same answer as performing this show. It's way different than anything I've done before, but mostly I'm really excited to perform always in like the circuit here because there's only 2 world-class ensembles in Colorado, as Jacob knows, us and Rise. So we have like a super big impact on the Colorado community because the whole marching arts isn't very big here. So trying to expand that and just having that influence is really nice. And I really love doing that for everybody here.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what all of you guys put out this next couple weeks here. It's about time that we're going to go from like knowing nothing to like knowing, I wouldn't want to say knowing plenty because most everyone's show is really still coming together and evolving all the way up and to and through Dayton Week. But just to start to see, like, what are we doing? What's happening this year is going to be so exciting. It's like a drummer Christmas. So I would love to hear about any goals that you've each set for yourselves for this upcoming season. We're all musicians. We're all getting better constantly. And for all of our different instruments, I'm sure there's like different little intricate things that like skill sets or whatever that you're trying to do. Or maybe you just want to become a more natural performer. But why don't we go around the horn and tell us about any goals that you have for the year? Jacob, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, I got it. Really, my goals this year, especially like living out somewhere new, I really wanted to eat well and stay fit. Those were big things that I think would be really impactful for my season here at Broken City. As you know, like we're doing some crazy visual stuff, so we got to stay strong. And so I picked up cooking recently before I came here, so I've been eating well. Food's tasting good.
Yeah, dude. It's actually funny that you say that, because as base 5, it really is like a fierce biological, like, you got to build your body up for this thing. My base 5 at United is like, I've got him for his video assignments. He has to hit the gym and like submit videos of him hitting curls and reverse curls. He actually does 100 push-ups every day that we have United. And if he doesn't complete his 100, it turns into push-up debt for the next day of United. And let me tell you this man is not in debt. He's been hitting all of his push-ups.
Every day.
Base 5 is a different beast. So yeah, you gotta eat healthy, you gotta stay strong. I think that's a perfect goal for you to have as base 5 at Broken City. Antonio, what's your goal looking like?
Well, I touched on it earlier, just like the whole etiquette thing. But like for myself personally, I'm pretty reserved. So performing has always been really hard for me. But this show, they're demanding us, like, we need to perform like 100% of the show, or else it won't be good enough. So getting into that mindset for every single rep is what I'm working towards right now. And then technically, my laterals need to get better still. My insides aren't coming out as evenly as my outsides. So just that.
Nice. Yeah, I wish that I could offer some good advice about those laterals. Perhaps Sean could, but I will not be your guy on those laterals.
Just got to do your method of movement book, man. Just got to get in that Lee Stevens book. No, I'm kidding. I mean, that may work. That probably will help. But
Word. Well, good luck with all that, man. Especially the performing thing. I think that, like, it helps to be in like your third year, because it's kind of, to me, it's always hard. You can't focus on performing while you're focusing on playing clean. So playing clean has to become second nature, and then that's the place where you can focus on performing, because you don't have to focus on playing clean. So I feel like now, as you're in a third year member, like, this is your opportunity to free up that mental real estate and really focus on developing yourself as that performer. Vic, what are you what's a goal that you have for yourself this year?
One goal that I set for myself this year is just to leave the season feeling like super proud of what we put on the floor.
Nice.
Just, having everything set and feeling good when we finally get to Dayton, and just, yeah.
That's actually, I love that. That's like a perfect all-encompassing goal. Because if you feel good about everything that you done when you got off the floor, then you did all you needed to do. And really, it's kind of very mature too for like, sorry, how old are you again?
I'm 20.
20, yeah. But even for anyone like performing at performance age, to recognize that, like, hey, we're not all going to win. Like, at the end of the day, you just have to know that, like, you're happy with your season and you did everything that you could do to be as good as you can be. So if you walk out the floor and that's how you feel, it is mission accomplished. That's a perfect goal for you to have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Colette, what's your goal?
I think this season especially, I've had to try and prioritize myself, definitely. Mystique and that environment is definitely one where if you show up doing what you need to do, there's a wonderful staff and a great support system that'll get you where you need to be. But that first part initially, where you just have to be able to show up and put your best foot forward, that can be a struggle, especially whenever you have, or like myself, I have travel to think about, I have school to think about, and throwing practice time into that and just like self-care time into that can be a little bit challenging sometimes. That's definitely something I'm trying to prioritize.
Who's got time for self-care time? Self-care time is for when you're on the highway traveling to Nashville. Don't do what I did. I flew to when I was 10 hours away from X in 2022, instead of driving, I flew every weekend. And I don't recommend that.
That's what it's going to look like for me pretty soon.
You're going to be doing it? It's okay.
Yes. It's a challenging drive. It's hard.
I think that the drive would have been probably worse for a different set of reasons. But the flying one is interesting. It's gonna be partly exciting. You'll feel like a jet setter, but it's also a lot of time spent sleeping overnight. Typically, was my experience in the airport, because I would try to catch like the cheap flight, and the cheap flight is the one where you leave the terminal and sleep on a bench outside of the TSA, and then get on the like 4 a.m. flight the next morning. So. I hope that you have a little bit better luck with your flight selection than I did.
Hopefully. Those red eyes are hard.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's what I want to hear. You don't have to answer, but if anyone has maybe 3 or 5 vague words about your show, you could be as vague as you want. I might say United's show is exciting. But does anyone have anything that they want to share with us about their show this upcoming year? Ooh, Antonio's got one.
It's not really for like the show itself, but I thought it'd be fun to say that we got our new floor is massive. I'm pretty sure our staff said it's as big as we can like legally have on the floor.
That's cool. I like that. That's not saying too much, but gets the people going. I'm excited to hear about this, man, and I'm excited to see what you guys get up to. We got any other teasers? You really don't have to. Don't feel pressured.
I will say, get excited for the Broken City show this year. I would say very angsty.
Ooh, okay. I like that from Broken City, man. A little bit of that in there. Dude, I'm always, to be honest, I'd have been excited regardless, but now you've got me excited. Vic, Colette, we're going to wait to hear more about your shows in about 2 weeks, I think. Let's get back out onto the floor here. Our guest clinicians actually need to get into some sectional time.
Marching by Montez is a visual design business based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but provides services to ensembles all across the country. Our services include custom drill and staging for marching bands, indoor winds, indoor percussion, and winter guards, as well as custom band and guard choreography for all 3 winter idioms and marching bands. We now offer program coordination for ensembles throughout the U.S. and custom graphic design for all of your uniform, props, flags, and floor needs. In-person and virtual program consultation options are now available through Marching by Montez, as well as custom sound design for your indoor winds backing tracks, winter guard soundtrack, and show soundscape needs. Visit us at marchingbymontez.com, contact us at joey@marchingbymontez.com, and check us out on social media at Marching by Montez.
All right, everyone, we are starting a new segment called 60-Second Tech Block. And each week, one of our hosts or guest clinicians is going to be forced to give a 60-second tech session with the section needing it the most after the last run. So basically, our special tech this week has to choose 3 topics that they think they can give a 60 seconds nonstop speech about and maybe help some people out there along the way. And this week, Sean McWilliams is our guest clinician. Sean, you said that your best topics were the many hats of a band director, tuning the timpani properly, or pushing instruments up the ramp at the UD Arena. So, everyone on the call, what do we think that Sean should talk about?
Pushing equipment up the UD Arena.
Yeah, that one.
I agree. That sounds really interesting.
All right, that's what you get, Sean.
Oh my
Jacob,
God,
I think you've got a clock ready for us, right? Want to get a little revenge for that 32 count life story?
Jacob's got me.
All right, here you go, Sean. Ready?
He's got you.
All right,
3,
ready.
2, 1.
60-second tech block.
All right. So, oh my God.
60-second tech block!
Pushing instruments up the UD Dayton Arena. My oldest memory, I'll just tell you a story to start this out, all right? So my oldest memory, I remember carrying literally 2 timpani, one in either, pulling them by their struts, one hand at a time, and having people push from behind me up, and then literally putting them off to the side, sprinting back down, which is like literally like almost a vertical drop, and then grabbing the other 2. That was when I was a freshman in high school. I remember that, and I remember literally the tech. I remember the tech that was helping, Amanda West, was helping me, and she was like
15
we were
seconds.
both like about to have a heart attack. Every other time I've had like 5 or 6 people help me and grab, like maybe Steven helped me when I was at United, but like he would probably be carrying a bass drum and a prop in one hand and then like a timpani.
60-second tech block.
Oh my God. Yeah, literally the most rush moment.
60-second tech block.
Feels afterwards are awesome. So good.
Oh, the orange peels are huge after. So I guess the moral of the story is have friends. If you need to push equipment up the UD Arena, you better have friends.
Sure, especially when you gotta think strategically here. If you're a timpanist, if you got a synth like cart, or if you got like, if you got put on prop duty, you need a hand. You never know when some drum set cart guy could possibly hold your stuff for you. You never know.
Yeah, you gotta take that opportunistic help, man. Because you ain't pushing that big thing up the tunnel yourself. I doubt that. All right. Well, Sean, great job with that one. That was a fun new bit. I'm excited to see how we get into that one more as these episodes go on here. But I think it's a good time. Let's get into my favorite segment, the What Are We Doings?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right. So you guys might be new to the show. Not sure if you've heard it before or not. So I'll do the first What Are We Doing? That way we get I can give a good example. You guys can see how it works. So for me, I was thinking back to shows last year, and I want to say, what are we doing strobing the audience to such a degree of intensity that while we're setting up on the floor, we have to make all of our TVs put up signs that have seizure warnings and say, maybe you shouldn't watch this show if you have epilepsy. That's not what we're in the arena for. We're here to just watch a program. I'm not going to name names, although that was a very obvious call out to, anyone that would know the show I'm referring to. But just turn them around, man. There's no one on the other side of the arena. You don't need to strobe the audience. I'm okay with calling it out. I thought it was obnoxious. I don't think anyone should do it again. So what are we doing strobing the audience to such a degree that it could create a medical emergency in the arena? But yeah, why don't we pop in here? Let's see. Sean, do you got a What Are We Doing for us?
This What Are We Doing almost needs what I'm about to ask for. So media training for everybody. How do I put this? We don't get media training when it comes to talking about our show. So if you have a show and you maybe you're trying, I see it. There's 2 ways. You can take an angle like you're trying to be mysterious and not necessarily talk about your show. There's another angle where you can be, okay, I'm going to advertise the crap out of my show and then tell you every single detail so that more people come and check it out. So, I think we need to be a little more attention to how do you handle that as a member, a staff member. If you're at a high school level, do you do that? Do you even take an approach? Do you even acknowledge taking an approach at the high school level? Because this is, again, an educational activity, ultimately especially for a high school kind of ensemble. This needs to be for the students first and foremost. So is media training something that we even consider for students at the high school level? Maybe more of a relevant sort of concept at the independent ensemble level, because these are like performance groups that are creating a product, and maybe even people are going and paying WGI just to see them. But then it's interesting.
It actually is a really good idea. It's sorely needed, even up through the professional level. I just had a run-in with this at Eagles Drumline like last week, which it's funny. Even Eagles Drumline, I'm like tiptoeing in murky waters here by like talking about it. When we had a news gig, because the Eagles are doing quite well, go Birds. We had a gig on the Friday morning news in Philly, and I was out there, I was playing some bass drum. We get done, and the newscaster turns and he puts the mic in my face, and he's like, "So what's going to happen on Sunday?" And I was like, "Oh, the Birds got this." And then when I got out of the gig, immediately the leader of the drum line, he was like, "Yo, you can't say we're going to win. You can't say what's going to happen. Can't say, you got to be way more like, we're excited for the game." At 4:30 p.m. on Sunday at the link.
Yeah. You gotta turn your robot on for a hot second and be like, you gotta filter that question through AI first, I think. You need a little AI.
I mean, I thought I would be towing the company line by saying, Birds got this.
Right?
But yeah, no, a little bit of a...
Like, I bleed green. Nope, you cannot. I wear green. I wear green. I'm excited
no bleeding. No bleeding.
No bleeding.
So a little bit of media training, I think, would have gone a long way for me too, all the way still today. So I think you're onto something, Sean. But all right, it seems like we might be getting the idea here now. Colette, do you have a what are we doing? Just anything in the marching arts that you think like, why do we do that? We could do better.
I have been thinking about this one recently, especially preparing for our upcoming show. What are we doing with the 2 to 5 second scramble before we get off the floor? I know we have a certain amount of time set for us to get on and off so we can keep things flowing. And I know the length of shows kind of accounts for that time, but especially last year with just so many things going on, and even in my high school group, the show would end, there would be that like 5 seconds you're looking up, it's like the best time of your life, you're so proud of everything, and then there's just chaos ensuing for like the next 30 seconds, and then your quads are burning, and then you're pushing up this crazy ramp. It's the quickest turnaround I've ever seen, probably the biggest vibe change ever, of like highest high to like, oh my goodness, this is the hardest push of my life, this is so stressful. That time could be extended by maybe 10 more seconds. I think it would make it so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. There needs to be a way that we could toe the line where we're like, you're not allowed to make your shows longer. That's not what this is for. You're not supposed to take longer setting up or anything. Just like these additional 15 seconds are for you to just chill for a second and not like have to go run around, and it almost like takes you out of it a little, even as a performer. It takes you out of the moment. Someone says break and then you like get the Pavlov dog response and just start running towards side 2, like crazy. Jacob, do you got a what are we doing for us?
I do. So what are we doing not physically preparing for the winter season? I mean, you should be doing it for summer as well, but having my goals being like eating well, staying fit, like I believe that has like really helped me this season. I think if I had come in to Broken City, like marching a large bass drum that I'm, not used to, I marched a much smaller one for 3 years. So going on to a 28-inch was a big change for me. But physically preparing and having a lot of help with that has helped me so much. Like Broken City right now is a partnership with Forte Athletics. If you've seen online.
Oh, nice.
I believe Forte Athletics is doing something with Infinity as well. I think a few other groups. We do all that we can to perform at our peak.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, man. Because like, it's funny to me. Everyone always likes to talk about how the marching arts are a sport. And, I don't disagree. But if you're one to proclaim that the marching arts are a sport, you should treat yourself like an athlete treats themselves. You should eat well and you should exercise. It'll make you better at the activity.
We are athletes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, but not everyone treats themselves like one. It's nice to hear that you're out there and you're taking good care of yourself, man. That'll pay dividends as you get towards the end of the season. Antonio, do you got a what are we doing?
Yeah, I do. So as instructors, what are we doing given comments that last 5 minutes during rehearsal? Like if it's a small thing, like, hey, your hands were uneven at this part, just go up to your student and say, hey, your hands were uneven right here. Bring one up, find the middle ground, something. You don't have to go on a whole big rant on the philosophy of the anatomy of your hands and why they need to look exactly the same and the approach and all this stuff. Just keep the comments quick and simple. It keeps the rehearsal running. It keeps the students engaged. I don't know. I'm really frustrated with people who will find the need to talk about all this other stuff when it's as simple as fix this one thing. I think especially at the independent level, the performers know if they mess up something super small, they don't really need that reminder of that kind of thing. So either don't say it or keep it like as short as possible. I think it was Forte Athletics actually who said, try to keep your comments to like within one breath. And I actually really like that as an instructor.
Yeah, no, that's a very good rule of thumb way to look at it. And I completely agree, man. That's like a lot of my philosophy as I'm teaching United. I feel like my responsibility is to make sure that the right reps are occurring and that we're getting good when we're repping is like how I feel as a tech. And, you know, everyone's got their own approach. Everyone does it how it feels right to them. But I'm right with you. I like to keep them working. And when I give a comment, I want to give the comment straight up the gut. You get the info you need and we're going to get back to work, you know, right there with you. And Vic, last but not least, do you have a what are we doing for us?
Yes. What are we doing making props so big? It is a logistical nightmare for trucks. You gotta have more trucks to move it, and sometimes when they're so big, it could put performers in danger. And I think we should reconsider that a little bit.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. And funnily enough, there are some new WGI rules that like affect the safety of the performers as it comes to prop size. I know that just because like as we're at United this year, we're like somewhat limited in certain things that we can actually do with our props because now we know like this year this is a penalty. Like we have this prop, we like it, but we can't do that with it, you know, like stuff that we would have wanted to do maybe in years past. The activity is hopefully wisely maybe moving away from a little bit. Just find a different way, be a better designer. Find a different way to like
set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right. Gush and go is nice and quick and easy. You just get about 60 seconds, go on about whatever you want. Something that's important to you. It doesn't even really need to be band related, or it can be band related if you want to. But this is your chance to gush and go on about whatever you want. Sean, you want to get us started with the gush and go?
Yeah, my gush and go. Here, I'm going to gush. Ready? Let's go. Sorry, that was a bad joke. You know what? I'm sorry. Hard cut. No. That can't see the light of day ever. That was so bad. I should be
we're keeping
on fire after that. Okay. Here we go. Here's my gush and go. Okay, so my gush and go, I'm in love with and also always battling the need to improve my ability to like convey the needs of a good high quality music ensemble. And of course, coming at in first place every single time is the student and the person and the student, the person, the core of what you're teaching, and then everything else, the practice skills, how to be motivated to do what you want to do or to do what we need to do in band as a group and what we decide to do, whether it's setting culture or just establishing like group goals, you know. I just, it's important to me. It's kind of like my beast to kill this or to defeat this year. And just, I mean, it's kind of like as a first year teacher, it's kind of what I've got going on.
I think you're going to figure it out, man. You're a good educator and you're a good musician. The kids I'm sure they're going to come around to it. And just as you get more time in there, you're going to get comfortable.
Yeah, and I they like me. I think. I hope. I said something slaps today. I was like, "This piece slaps," and they were like, "What the heck did you just say?" And I'm like, "My generation made that word. Stop it. Stop. I'm not too old to use that word. I made that word. Stop."
That's so funny that they're like thinking that you're too old to use like any particular like Gen Z slang. We all have the internet.
Dude, they think I was in my late 30s. I'm like, guys.
Are they high schoolers?
Yeah, they're high schoolers.
They're both Gen Z.
I know. I'm like, we're like 8 years apart, man. Like at the very, very okay, maybe like my seniors like 8 years apart.
That's funny.
So I'm like,
all right, let's
I'm not too old for that.
Let's keep them on moving here. Let's get into these other gush and goes. But yeah, dude, you're gonna do just fine. Just don't rock the boat too much, and you'll be just fine. Colette, what do you want to gush and go on about?
I think something that's very personal to me right now, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is just making sure, and this is my advice to other people who are trying to split their time as well between school life and travel and keeping up with an indoor drumline like work schedule, is just to make sure that you have that list of priorities of what's important to you and how to keep yourself in check and how to be there to support others. I think lately, especially since music isn't a part of my academic life, I'm at Tulane University in New Orleans, 10 hours away from Nashville, pursuing a degree in cell engineering. So I am completely on the opposite side of this music world whenever I come back to New Orleans during the week. So I kind of have to be able to flip that switch on and off whenever I get there so I can express my creative side, but also still be willing to put in the work. And at the top of all of this is just like self-care. And I feel like that's something that a lot of times, the further you get into the season, the lower that kind of gets pushed down the rink because you're trying to make this happen. You're trying to make these grades come out how you want to. I think it's my advice and what I could talk about forever is just making sure that you have that list of priorities set in your mind of what you want to accomplish within a day and what you can accomplish within 24 hours. And if it can't happen, there's another day tomorrow and another one after that. And just to make sure to keep that all in check and keep that moving in order to have the best season possible and not to burn yourself out too quickly.
And really, that's like a life skill that'll be applicable way beyond your years in a drumline, because I've been struggling with that lately just in my professional life. Really, really letting it bleed outside of the work hours and forgetting what's possible within a 24-hour day. Really? I'm not the one that's forgetting. My boss and my... I'll stop. I'll stop there. They're the ones that maybe forget
media
what's
training,
possible in the 24
media
hours.
training. Remember,
they're not going to listen to this. They're not. Or maybe they will. Maybe the corporate finance world will enjoy on a water break. All right, Jacob, what are you gushing and going on about?
So I actually recently picked up baking as well, like to go alongside cooking. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. It seems like my staple right now is cookies. So
okay,
it's great to like. I love to try out some new cookies, but I've been making these really good ones lately, and I love cooking on the weekends. Like being here at the house with everyone. Like we have some people come over for the weekend, like after a rehearsal. So I make some cookies. We all have some cookies. Go to bed. And, like
that's dope.
I'm just
what cookie are you making?
So my good ones right now. The chocolate chip. Those are really good. I have a really good chocolate chunk recipe. And I call them like these cinnamon roll cookies, but they're like cinnamon oatmeal white chocolate, like really good.
Ooh. Ooh. Those sound incredible. I'm about to book a flight. Well, that's awesome, man. You keep having fun with that and keep rocking and rolling. I remember like some of the most fun I've ever had in band was at X after rehearsal at my buddy's apartment in Ohio, where we are living for 6 months. You know, that's the blast. Enjoy it. Vic, what do you want to gush and go on about?
I'd love to gush and go. Definitely check out all 3 Infinity groups this season. They all have really great stuff going on. Also, a little bit like mental health and burnout are so important during the season. I know Colette talked about it a little bit, but it can really eat the life out of you. So being able to balance, your mental health and then all the music stuff you're going on is so important. And if you need a graphic designer for your show merch or anything else, come hit me up. I'm happy to do anything for your ensemble.
Jeremy. Every now and then our friend Jeremy is interested in such things. So I'm sure if not him, someone out there should definitely hit you up. Awesome. And Antonio, what do you want to gush and go on about?
Yeah, so everyone knows that like Blue Knights Drum and Bugle Corps, that's like a whole big thing. And then I think a lot of people know about the Indoor Percussion Ensemble. But I think a lot of people don't know that we now have an open class percussion ensemble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we brought it back last year.
Nice.
But there's no plans to go to Dayton as far as I know anytime soon. But I think it'd be cool for everybody to like go check them out on YouTube and throughout the season to see if there's videos posted and everything. Their show last year was pretty cool. I thought it was really good. And just like I think open class ensembles and like lower levels independent groups are really important for just like the activity as a whole, because you can't just jump to world class.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be nice to give them a little shout out. Go check them out, and then I'll give shout out to Rise as well, other group in Colorado that we talked about before. Just check out everybody.
Nice, dude. That's cool. I thanks for raising awareness of that group, because I was not aware that it existed. So we will definitely check it out.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Jeremy didn't even let me hit my Gush and Go Birds. Can't believe it. Unbelievable.
Go Birds.
I'm so pumped. So pumped. That's my quick gush and go. Bass drum is led me to the point where I will be paid to go play bass drum at my favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, at the NFC Championship home game this Sunday. All the time, I'm like, I can't believe that bass drum led me here. It's like insane. There is a whole world of marching percussion that you can get into after you age out. It does not end when you age out. All right, cool. So if you got a question or you got a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you could find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now to fill out if you want to be a guest. Thanks for a great rehearsal, guys. And this week, what a great start to season 3 that we've had so far. So thank you to our hosts. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to our guest clinicians this week, and good luck with your season. Tell us where you can go find us on socials. Colette, do you want to start and let us know where our listeners could find you?
Of course, my Instagram is Colette Lyman, and of course you can see me on the Music City Mystique Instagram page as well.
Awesome. Jacob, what about you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, just jacob.witten_, and you can also find me on Broken City Percussion and Broken City Bass.
Nice. Very nice. Antonio, where could they find you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Bronco Beast 1031.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
If you want to watch my practice account, it's just Antonio_practice. And then, of course, the Blue Knights Percussion Ensemble page.
Nice. I like that. Digging into the Broncos, just like I dig into the birds. And Vic, where could they find you?
You could find me Vic Ensler on Instagram, and also the Infinity Percussion page on Instagram, and the Infinite Front page as well.
Very nice. All right, everybody go check them out, please. If you've got a question or a good topic to talk about, you could email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now that you could fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast, so check it out at our link in the bio on our social media. Or you could just take out your phone, you can make a video, you can send it to us, and you might see yourself on the podcast soon. One more thing, don't forget we have our own YouTube channel now, and it's got many of our interviews as full video editions. Make sure you go check it out and subscribe. You don't want to miss the content that we have going up there. And before you close out your podcast listening app, please subscribe, write us a review, and share it with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we will see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.